Here's a salutary warning for anybody who is intending to use DPD. This is a bag, unopened, fresh from the mint, containing about 1,200, I think I worked it out at. Yeah, close enough. 1 penny coins from 1966. Now today, 15th of February, is the 50th anniversary of D-Day, Decimalisation Day, when these ceased to be legal tender, and we then had nice new legal tender. So instead of having 240 pennies making £1, we had 100 pennies making £1. I remember it well. Now, I inherited these bags. There's a lot of them. I've got a lot of them, of these 1 penny pre-decimal coins from an uncle, and I make things out of them. You know, I made some drinks tokens for a mate. I'm making the membership number tokens for Boathouse Social. Coin rings, I make coin rings out of them. If you haven't seen the sort of rings I make, these are the sort of rings I make. Actually, I'll show you a nicer one. That's one that's got the antique patina on. These are some. This is a threepenny bit, polished up threepenny bit, semi patina. This is an old shilling. There we go. These are the sort of things I make out of them. Loads of them. But they're no longer legal tender, and they're no longer classed as coins or currency. They're classed as copper rounds, they're classed as scrap basically, or they're classed as materials used within art and crafts. In fact, actually I'll show you this. This was, I need to polish it all up a bit, it's got all a bit scratched. This is a Lazy Susan that you put on your dining table, and you'd put little packages of food or something on there. Zoom out a little bit, and then you can, you turn it around and whatever. So again, it's just using those 1 penny coins. So they're used by artists and whatever. I've sold some to a guy who did a coffee table. They're all 1966, these. So that was the year his wife was born, so he's made a coffee table. Another guy made a kind of like a water fountain. So, they're creative arty type stuff. Well, I usually send these out via DPD. Yes, this is where the story gets a bit interesting. Oops, sorry. Right. I sent a package to someone who bought these off eBay on... Let's do that. It's a nice little backdrop, isn't it? I dropped the package off at a parcel drop shop on the 22nd of December. And I chased it on the 30th of December to say, where is it? During that time, the customer had bought another set because he wasn't sure whether the one lot would be enough to make this fountain. So I sent him another set on the 24th of December. That on DPD's app was shown as gone, but this one, the first one I dropped off, hadn't. So I phoned them and said, what's happening? They said, oh, we don't know, don't worry, it'll show up. On the 5th of January it hadn't, so I phoned them and said, can you tell me what's going on? They said, oh, you need to give it a week. So on the 10th of January I phoned them again, and on the 11th of January I phoned them again, and on the 12th of January I phoned them again, and they said they'll start a parcel search, or raise a parcel search. I also asked that a supervisor call me back, and a supervisor did call me back. And she was very helpful and said, we'll give it a week, then we'll raise a claim. So I told them all what it was. It was a package of pennies, 240 pre-decimal pennies, which are no longer classed as coins. She said, all right, no worries, we'll see if we can find them. On the 27th of January, I called for an update. The depot said that they delivered it. They were looking at the wrong number. The one they delivered was the second parcel that I'd sent to the same customer. February the 12th, I phoned, spoke to someone called Marie. She said, right, it's evident that the parcel's gone missing. I'm going to raise a claim now. So she raised the claim, sent me a thing to fill in online. I filled it in online, sent them some photos. In fact, I sent them the photos of this, which is how I package them up. I wear gloves when I handle them because these have never been opened. They've never been touched. These were filled by machine, weighed and sealed. Had they been opened and hand checked, they put a little cross in the corner there on the label. So I know that these have never ever been touched by human hand. I package them up wearing gloves. So these have never, and then I shrink wrap them. These have never been touched. So they're brand spanking new, even though they're 55 years old. So I sent the photo of that. I sent the photo of the eBay listing. This morning, 15th, 50th anniversary of these ceasing to be legal tender, I got a little email from claims at DPD saying, oh, we're going to reject it. It's not an item that you're allowed to send. I said, really? So I'm just going to play you a little bit of music and I'm going to show you the list of items that you're not allowed to send via DPD. Now, one thing I would ask you to do while you look through this list is just ask yourself, if you're going to send something, would you read through this long list to see whether you could or couldn't send a blanket that belonged to your mum, as an example, a personal item like that? A little blanket, a little cuddly maybe from your daughter that you wanted to send, that you all that sort of thing, you know, personal items. Or maybe, I don't know, a family heirloom or something that you might use DPD to send, or anything that you make and sell as artwork in your shop or whatever. You're not allowed. Well, you are. They'll carry pretty much anything. I've had people send me booze and that before now via DPD, you know, hops and grains and all sorts. But it's when they fuck up and it comes to test whether or not they are going to allow your claim that you get to find out what a bunch of untrustworthy cunts they are. So take a little look through this list and I'll play you some music. And then just think whether or not it's worth using someone as despicable as DPD, because I'm now 50 quid out of pocket. Well, I'm not. It's the patients I work with who are 50 quid out of pocket. Selling a packet of these runs a support group for a week, pays for room hire, tea, coffee, everything. So DPD, you have now deprived cancer patients, terminally ill cancer patients, depressive, manic depressive, all sorts of other patients that I have over the years supported in support groups, but mainly it's the terminally ill patients who are the benefit of the fundraising that I do with these. So DPD, does the DPD stand for despicable? I think so. Read through this list, everybody. So there we have it. Thank you, DPD. You've just taken 50 quid away from a support group for dying cancer patients. Fuck's sake. You bunch of scum. Again, I find myself in a position of being really angry at unethical trading practices. And it's one of the things that I've sort of like taken to doing now, is praise good practice and draw attention wherever possible to bad practice. And as far as I'm concerned, DPD, bad practice. You loathsome bunch of scum. Please share this, boys and girls. Hopefully save yourself some grief, because when they decide to kick your parcel into the canal or deliver it to Amsterdam or whatever they're going to do to otherwise lose it, you ain't going to get a fucking penny in compensation because of that list. Fuck 'em.